The story of the Bell Witch is a chilling tale. It's a story of a family tormented. Their home was invaded by an unseen entity. The year was 1817. The setting was Adams, Tennessee. The Bell family's peaceful life on their farm would soon transform into a nightmare. John Bell, the patriarch, was a respected farmer. He lived with his wife Lucy and their children. They were a typical family in a rural community. Their lives were about to be overtaken by the unexplainable. The Bell Witch haunting remains one of America's most famous and enduring ghost stories. The haunting began subtly. There were strange sounds at night. These included whispers, knocking, and rustling. The family initially dismissed these as an animal or the wind. However, the disturbances grew stronger. They began to suspect something more sinister was afoot. The unseen entity seemed to target the family specifically. It felt like a personal vendetta. This wasn't just a random haunting, it was targeted terror. This realization chilled the Bells to their core, and their lives were about to change forever. The disturbances escalated from subtle sounds to physical interactions. The entity began to interact with the family in frightening ways. Objects would move inexplicably. Doors would slam shut on their own. The family was living in a constant state of fear. One of the children reported being slapped by an unseen hand. There were disembodied growls and whispers heard throughout the house. This was no longer just strange sounds. It was a full-blown haunting. Fear turned to terror as the family realized they were dealing with a powerful, malevolent force. The haunting became a topic of conversation in Adams. Neighbors and townsfolk alike were both curious and afraid. Stories of the Bell Witch spread quickly. The Bell family home became a place of dread and fascination. The family tried to maintain a sense of normalcy. They continued their daily routines as best they could. However, the relentless haunting made life unbearable. They were trapped in a nightmare with no escape. The Bell family's life had been irrevocably changed by the entity that haunted their home. As the haunting intensified, the entity focused its attention on John Bell and his youngest daughter, Betsy. John, the head of the household, suffered the brunt of the attacks. He experienced physical assaults, including scratches, pinches, and even beatings. Betsy, a young and vulnerable girl, was also a prime target. She was often slapped, pinched, and pulled by her hair. The entity seemed to take pleasure in tormenting her. The haunting took a toll on Betsy's health, leaving her physically and emotionally drained. The entity's attacks were not only physical, but also psychological. It would whisper threats to John and Betsy. It would taunt them with cruel insults. The constant fear and torment took a severe toll on their well-being. John's health deteriorated rapidly. He began to experience strange symptoms. These included loss of voice, muscle spasms, and seizures. The family feared that the entity was slowly killing him. The Bell Witch's reign of terror continued, leaving the family desperate for help. One of the most unsettling aspects of the Bell Witch haunting was the entity's ability to communicate. It would speak in a disembodied voice. The voice was described as high-pitched and chilling. It would hold conversations with the Bell family and visitors. The entity would often sing hymns and recite Bible verses. It would engage in theological debates with local preachers. The voice would sometimes mimic the voices of family members, adding to the unsettling atmosphere. People would travel from miles around to witness the phenomenon. They hoped to hear the witch's voice for themselves. The Bell home became a macabre tourist attraction. The entity would answer questions, make predictions, and gossip about townspeople. The conversations were often vulgar, threatening, or nonsensical. The ability to speak made the haunting even more terrifying and real.